What's going on, Alfonso Nation? It is Alfonso Peterman here today, and I'm here with one of the drivers for Optimus Prime. This is not a joke. This is not a prank. This is the man. He works for Western Star, and he drives the Optimus Prime big rig truck. So in this interview today, we're going to talk about some key elements of his job and what he does. It's just so fascinating to me, and I know you guys are so excited as well. So we're gonna get cranked up. Mr. Chad Mills, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Alfonso Nation? How's it going?
What's going on, man? Man, first of all, I just want to say, Optimus Prime's truck is just like, it's everything. I love the truck. Everything about Optimus Prime is amazing. His truck, his voice, Peter Cullen, anything that has to do with it. So it's an honor to meet you, and I want to thank you for joining today.
Hey, no problem. It's nice to meet you too. Yeah, it's an awesome experience to be able to do that.
Yeah. So let's just start off with the question: How did you get the opportunity to become like employed with Western Star? How did this happen?
Well, I'm not directly employed by Western Star.
Okay.
I used to be employed by Daimler Trucks North America, which is their parent company. They own Western Star. It's their truck brand. I was an engineering technician for them for about 10 years. Did a lot of work beating up their trucks, learning a lot about their trucks.
Yeah.
Kind of went off on my own back in late 2013, just before the Age of Extinction come out, and I was contacted by them because I worked a lot with their show truck guys too, and obviously this is one of their show trucks. They built two of these trucks for the Age of Extinction movie originally. And so they contacted me knowing that I could work on it, fix it, keep it going and drive it, take good care of it. So they contacted me to be one of the guys to move it around part-time.
That's insane. I mean, that must be crazy. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask, what do you enjoy the most about your job? What do you get out of it?
Well, I created the opwheelman social media identity just because originally there was only really two guys that Daimler really wanted and trusted to run these trucks around. And that's two guys in the world essentially that weren't involved in the movies driving. I didn't have anything to do with the movie driving. All my driving's for Western Star and their promotional stuff, but it was just pretty neat to be one of those two guys, so I wanted to share it with the fans, and that's why I created that identity, opwheelman, and just to kind of, I was new to the whole social media thing as far as Instagram and all that, and YouTube, and so yeah, this is new for me, but it's like to see that on the road and to see it in person is just, it's incredible compared to the big screen.
I bet. I know, and I bet it's like, because I mean, I can just imagine having that truck right there, and I'm just like, holy crap! Like, that's Optimus.
And one of the things that people say, I mean, you see semi trucks on the highway all the time, and but a lot of people comment, it's like, man, I can't believe how big this thing is, and
right.
I mean the truck's over 13 feet tall to the top of the exhaust stack, and it's like, and they actually, a little secret, they actually cut like 8 inches off the roof of the truck for the movie, because when it's set next to like Lockdown, the Lamborghini that's, the car comes basically to my belt. They couldn't fit the truck in the car in the same frame on so Michael Bay, from what I understand, actually had him cut the roof off the truck a little bit, kind of scrunch it down so it fit the video better. So
wow, that is a huge truck, man. Holy crap. For sure. It's
a standard size, semi tractor, but still, it's just, its presence when it's there live is definitely big.
I bet. Man, that's crazy. I can only imagine how that is in person. So I was told that you were like involved in a promotional event with Uber and Rig.com in Hollywood. Tell me about your favorite parts of that experience and any interesting things that may have happened while you were doing that.
Yeah, that was basically the very first trip I took. That was the first time we took one of the OP trucks on the highway. They're movie props. They wanted to do some stuff with Uber, promotional stuff, and so our first ride was in Los Angeles, in the Hollywood area. So we did a bunch of stuff to convert the truck to be legal to be driven on the highway, and taking it out of the Paramount Studios back lot, pulling onto the road was just, you know, it was nuts. It's just like, I can't believe I'm doing this, you know.
Yeah, no.
I go down, turn on to Hollywood Boulevard, and it's like, all right. So it's kind of, we had some guys we were chasing around the area, some Uber people that were, you know, they had this whole thing organized, and if anybody's seen it on break.com, we picked up 3 people, and they didn't really know, they had no idea.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, and it was really, I mean, it was pretty legit. They had no idea. They knew that they were going to get there was something coming from Transformers, but they had no idea that it was Optimus Prime. You know, maybe, you know, Bumblebee or something. I mean, it's, you know, Bumblebee, it's a Camaro. It's not, you know, Optimus Prime. So, but that was pretty wild. I think the first guy, he was, I felt his battery in his iPhone was dead. And he couldn't take any selfies, he couldn't take any video, he couldn't take any pictures, you know. And it's like, at the time, you know, there's not an iPhone charger in Optimus Prime. So, well, I felt real bad for the guy, so I tried to, you know, get him some pictures and stuff. But that was probably the funniest thing that happened. But you know, just seeing the look on their face, you know, it was, you know, you come around the corner and they're standing there like, you know, just
yeah.
And you see people walking on the sidewalk, and they'll be walking along in a conversation, you know, and they'll turn, they'll go, you know, you just read their lips, and you know exactly. It's a blast. It's a blast.
I know. I mean, you are always around the truck, but for people who are brand new and never seen that thing in real life, you know, you get that reaction.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, you do maintenance on the truck, is that correct?
I do periodic stuff, small stuff. You know, like I said before, these are movie props.
Right.
We were built to make a couple movies, and that's about it. And you know, the stunt truck, when we first started driving it back in 2014, right before, you know, when we did the Uber stuff, right before the movie was released, I think it had maybe 1,200 miles on it or something like that. And that was all filming mileage and stuff. There's stuff that's done on the trucks. The wiring's not, you know, not like factory and things like that. If anybody's built a race car or a hot rod or anything like that, you know what it takes to keep that going every day. When you build it yourself, you know, there's some things that just, you know, you'd like to have done a little bit better or a little bit more robust and strong. So there's always something, you know, there's a light that doesn't work or things loosen up. I mean, you got 6 big exhaust stacks on the back headache rack, and you know, there's a lot of weight back there, and the way they were designed, they bolt together, and you know, things loosen up, and it's just, you know, it's constantly, the truck is actually really heavy because of all the fiberglass parts that are in it. So it's a lot of mass going down the road, and a lot of the roads are not nice at all. And you know, things get shook, things get broke, and you know, it's just, so it's a constant evolution of going from point A to point B. Commercial drivers are supposed to do a pre-trip and post-trip inspection anyways. The one in Optimus Prime is a prime-sized inspection because there's so much more to that truck you need to check over. Thank God I'm not pulling a trailer with it, because it's enough work keeping the truck clean and everything running, you know. So but a lot of it's just, you know, nitpicky stuff just to keep it in tip-top shape when I get to wherever I'm going.
Well, that's awesome, man. You don't want him to look like he is behind you with all that damage.
Yeah, and most importantly, you don't want something falling off the truck and becoming a hazard to other people on the highway. You know, that's definitely safety first. Exactly.
So what would you say would be like your challenges while you're working on the truck? Do you ever come across some problems?
Yeah, with the Uber stuff, and just, you know, some of the other random stuff you do. Number one is, I guess probably number one is traffic. When the truck parks, people flood to it, okay? And everybody wants to take a picture and everything, and that's awesome. But on the highway, it's basically the same thing in their cars and their trucks.
Oh, gosh.
And so you're going down the road, and, you know, the truck is actually, the front bumper on the truck's probably 2.5 to 3 inches to the ground. It's a lot lower than a normal truck. It's like driving a Corvette, and you're going down the road, and the exhaust stacks are so tall and so wide, and the bumper's so low, you got to constantly be watching for obstacles in the road, holes, stuff like that. And people come up next to you, and they're running next to you, and they're taking pictures, and they'll they'll kind of hover as you're going on the road. They're kind of hovering around you, and it creates a tense situation where if I see something I need to try to avoid to not wreck the truck or damage the truck, the people don't give you an escape route. That's one of the biggest things. It's like, you know, I call it the poster truck for distracted driving. Everybody around is paying attention to the truck and not what they're doing. So that's one of the major challenges of driving. It's you got to be watching for everybody else.
So like, just from like your standpoint, what would you say, like, what is it like knowing that sometimes you're surrounded by one of the world's most famous trucks? Like, how does that feel to you? Are you accustomed to it?
Yeah, I guess I've gotten a little comfortable.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, like I said, to see the truck in person, it's just like, you know, I've been playing with those trucks since early 2014, almost, you know, 3 years now. And every time I see it, you know, I stand there and it's like I've told people, you know, at shows and stuff, it's like I see this truck all the time.
Right.
You know, I've spent 6 hours wiping on it, and I still can't stop looking at it. You know, it's just. It's such an icon, and like you said, it's probably that themed truck, whether it was the old Peterbilt, blah blah blah, the new Western Star with the flames on it. The flames are iconic, and everybody knows the red and blue flames is Optimus Prime. I mean, that is everybody on the face of the earth knows it, pretty much. And it's sometimes you forget that. I forget it because it's like, you know, I've 3 or 4 days spending with the truck. You know, it's like, okay, but. Still has an impact. It definitely still has an impact. It is probably the most worldwide known, most recognizable, and you know, yeah. I tell people, you know, love it or hate it. You know, you see a lot of people online. Oh, it's, you know, Optimus Prime's window licking cousin or whatever, and it's just like, you know, the detail in this truck compared to a movie prop truck or normal movie props. I mean, these trucks were built by guys that build hot rods. They're professionals. I mean, they build trucks and cars for a living. The detail, if you were to see the trucks in person, you can see the workmanship, the quality, the craftsmanship. And I have seen 2 of the Peterbilt stunt trucks were in a warehouse in Paramount Studios when I was there. They were just sitting there covered with leaves, just kind of rotting away. And the trucks up close, I mean, they're 50-footers is what we call them in the car industry. 50 feet away, they look great. You get up close, it's like, wow, this is kind of, you know. Yeah. The Western Stars aren't like that. They're like walking into a Chevrolet dealership and seeing a brand new Corvette Z06 sitting there. That's what they look. I mean, they're top notch. I'm kind of rambling on, but I love the trucks. I mean, I really love the trucks, and they're awesome pieces of work. And anybody can see them in person. It's something. There's something to take in.
Wow, that's insane, man. I can only imagine. I hope one day I'll get a chance to see that in person, and I do plan on it sometime. I'm gonna track it down, but I want to be able to have that experience.
Yep, definitely. We'll try to make that happen.
Yes, absolutely. So what? Okay, you say you've been in the Paramount warehouse.
Actually, I've been on Paramount's backlot.
Okay.
There's been a couple of times when they've had the truck there. The warehouse that we speak of is actually at Daimler Trucks North America's corporate headquarters in Portland, Oregon. Is they have a warehouse they put all their show trucks in they're not using. That's the warehouse. I call it the Bat Cave, whatever you want to call it, but
and the Bat Cave. That's cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so like, what kind of cool things did you see while you were in that warehouse?
Well, they normally, like I say, you know, we walk in there and there's 2 Optimus Primes, a couple Galvatrons hanging out. You know, in the trucking industry. There's a show in Louisville, Kentucky every year. It's the trucking industry's biggest trade show. And Daimler has gone up until the past couple years every year, and they normally, you know, they have a football field long display. There's always what they call a focal truck. And it's a truck that's usually up on the platform when you see you know, if you've ever been to an auto show, it's like you know, what's in the middle of the booth. It's on the turntable or the big stage or whatever.
I bet that's so cool to see. So okay, so like, let's see, what about any other cool thing you've had, like, it happen to you during your career?
Well, you know, this has been pretty awesome being able to play with the Optimus Prime trucks. I mean,
right.
You know, I was a fan growing up, played with the toys, watched the cartoons. I'm definitely not as big of a fan as a lot of people I've seen online.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I can't name all the characters and stuff like that, but it's just still it's a blast. I've always been into big trucks, and this is kind of, you know, it's a blessing to be able to be one of the guys that plays with these things on a you know, periodically. And
I know. Yeah, it is.
it's just, there's a lot of history and there's a lot of things that people don't know. There's a lot to these trucks, and then how they came to be. So
You had a picture with Peter Cullen. Now, Peter Cullen is everything. He's like my idol. I would give everything just to be able to meet him. And you met him. So, like, how would you sum up that experience? Like, what is he like in person?
well, when I met him, it was very brief. It was for the DVD release of Age of Extinction. They did the whole handprint thing, just like they recently did with Michael Bay. Got to put his hands in the TCI theater's sidewalk.
Right.
Peter Cullen, when he did his, I actually got to drive the truck to put Optimus's print in the sidewalk.
Oh,
So they had this ramp, and we drove through a thing, and they made a mold, and they'll make the mold, put the mold in the cement, because obviously you can't drive a 21,000-pound truck onto the sidewalk over there because you'll ruin John Wayne's handprints, and that's not cool at all.
Right.
But so that was I mean, the whole experience beyond Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen was the icing on the cake, if you will.
Man.
It was just, that was probably my closest, you know, Hollywood insider gig that I got to do, and you know, some of the back scenes and all the setup and everything, and then to go through that and everything, and then to see Peter Cullen do his thing, and then to get introduced to him. It was very brief. He's getting up there in age, you know.
I know.
Unfortunately, and you know, real friendly guy. You know, from what little I got to talk to him, it was really cool. He signed my hat, not this hat. I got another hat he signed, but you know, a memento that I'll keep forever. But that was awesome. It was really awesome to meet the voice of Optimus Prime himself. So.
That's interesting. That's awesome, though. But you got the chance to meet him, and that's
absolutely.
He's supposed to be a guest at HasCon 2017.
Okay.
In Providence, Rhode Island, and so I'm really trying to get me to. I'm planning on going. I really want to go this September, so that way I'll have that experience too. But so tell me a few of your craziest. I mean, I know you've had a lot of things happen in your career with Optimus Prime, but I mean the craziest, wildest, funniest, or the best experiences with the truck that you will never forget. Go.
Oh man. There was one time I was trying to get into Canada because I had to go up to Canada for the Calgary International Auto Show. And I had some friends up in Kalispell, Montana, and I was going up, did some stuff in Vegas, and was making my way up to Canada through Montana, and stopped to see them. And I decided to go up through a port up there to get into the country, and they had never really seen big trucks before, and there was something wrong with the paperwork, right? So they wouldn't let me in. So I'd turn around and kind of go back and cut across Glacier National Park and all this stuff, and I popped out in this little town. And took a turn. I was going through this little town. I got out of town, and a sheriff pickup comes up behind me and turns on his lights and pulls me over. Okay, you know what I do, you know? And he walks up and says, "Hey, you mind if I get a picture?" And I'm like, "No, that's cool, you know. No problem." So he takes his picture, and I actually posed it. It's on my Instagram somewhere back there. There's a picture of the truck sitting there and the sheriff's pickup behind it. So, okay, that's cool. So I got on my way, and I'm on the phone trying to get the paperwork straightened out so I can get across the border because I got a deadline. You know, I got to be up there, and going along this little 2-lane highway and come over this rise, and I see the back end of a state trooper's Dodge Charger and the front end of another sheriff pickup. As soon as I crested the hill, I see the tail lights on the patrol car come on, and the daytime running lights on the pickup come on. It's like, okay, here we go again, you know. So I go past them, and they turn around, and they fall in behind me, pull me over. And the state policeman walks up and said, "Hey, you know, I see you're doing 5 over," and I'm like, "Well, okay, you know." And I think it was just a story. And like, "Hey, you know," so he's writing me a warning ticket, and I'm like, "Okay." And then he has the nerve to ask, "Well, hey, can I take a picture of the truck?" And I'm like, "Okay, you know, feel free, you know." So then they switch places. The sheriff guy that was with them comes up, same thing. Okay, you know. So I get on my way, and it's like, you know, it's like, really, I've just about had it, and it's like, that was. So I'm going along, and I come across another hill, pop over another hill, and this is out in the middle of nowhere in Montana, right? And there's another state trooper.
Oh my
as soon
God.
as he passes me off under the shoulder, and U-turn behind me, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I dropped it down to like 55, you know, and I'm poking, and I pull into this truck stop, and I'm gonna park the truck back between two trailers, back in there so nobody can see it, because I'm done. I've had enough, right? And he gets out, and he's like, hey, mind if I take a picture? And I'm like, are you serious, dude? And so I'm in the middle, you know, you got the fuel island here, and you got a row of trucks back here, and he has me pull up in the parking lot, and he's like having me turn the wheels, you know, and he's doing his stuff, you know, and he gets out this big camera and tripod that they use for, you know, accident investigation. So he goes out and he gets a Smokey Bear hat, you know, and he puts his, you know, mind if I take a picture of me in front of the truck? And I'm like, sure, dude, whatever, you know, as long as you're not gonna write a ticket. He's like, yeah, this thing's all over the radio. I knew you were coming from, you know, from 3 hours ago, and the whole state of Montana basically knows you're here. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me.
Montana is like one giant small town.
Yeah.
And the hotel I stayed at, I wasn't there 10 minutes, and people were coming in. It was all over Facebook, you know, and everybody knew the truck there, and I'm like, oh, geez. But yeah, I saw the next day the picture of that state trooper and the truck were on Montana Highway Patrol's Facebook page. So,
wow.
that was probably one of the wildest experiences. Like, yeah, I got pulled over 3 times in one day.
Even the police will
yeah.
stop you for Optimus Prime.
For a picture, yeah. One of the more momentous experiences I had that wasn't crazy, but I took it up to Canada, Ontario, Canada, for it's called Evan's Touch the Truck, and Evan was a kid that had a brain cancer tumor type deal, and
yeah,
we went up there specifically. The dealership up there organized getting together had an event, and we were gonna take the truck to him, let him actually see it, because they have a thing. It's like a benefit thing every year for him to, you know, for his medical expenses and his family and stuff, and you know, touch the truck and you come out, because he's a big fan of big trucks in general, and that's like the icon. So we went up there for that. Unfortunately, his health was to a point where he couldn't see it. So one of the Canada's, I don't know if they're state troopers or what they are, private provincial police officers or whatever, videoed everything for him, and kind of had to do a little, you know, these limited edition hats. They used to give them out. You know, they used to give them out at the truck shows and stuff. And then I actually took about a dozen of them, and I actually painted the tire treads, and I ran over the bill of the hat. So that's actually Optimus Prime's tire. So the hat is actually signed by Optimus Prime, if you will.
All right.
So I gave him one of these hats, you know, and it was a pretty emotional deal, because, you know, he's just not, you know, it's one of those things that was pretty emotional to do that, and that was a really good cause, and they raised a lot of money having the truck there, but unfortunately didn't get to see it in person. But I heard he, you know, watched the video, and unfortunately he passed not too long after that, and that was pretty sad. But it's cool stuff like that you get to do for the kids, for the fan, and you know, it's about the fans. And you know, on the flip side of that is the truck costs a lot of money to build. There's a lot of effort, personal effort. You know, I spend 6.5 hours every time I get somewhere scrubbing on it after I've had it washed. I polish everything. I go from one end to the other, top to bottom.
Right.
Because that's just how I am. I have OCD, and I like it clean. There better not be a fingerprint on my chrome. There better not be a bug on the glass, right? And I treat that truck as if my name was on the title and I owned it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that come to the events to see the truck, and they don't have that mentality. They don't have the appreciation for other people's property. I've had people climbing on it, standing on it, stepping on it, you know, leaving their drinks on it, leaving their computer bags on it. It's like,
really?
Look, you know, this is a $500,000 truck to build. $500,000. The paint on it alone is anywhere from $50 to $60. I've heard upwards of $75,000 to paint the truck, because it's a Dodge Viper blue. It's Ferrari red that goes to a Dodge Viper red. Those are very, very expensive colors. The striping's all hand done on the pinstripe, and it's all buried into clear, and there's hours and hours of rubbing and buffing and polishing to make that truck look like it is.
Well, it's just respect the truck.
But
people need to just learn to, you know,
exactly,
with respect and honor it, because it is not only just like, oh my God, it's a cool truck. This is a very expensive truck, it is an iconic truck, one of the few in the world, like you just said. So it's just, it's really just paying attention and just respecting the authenticity of it, and just respecting the rarity of it, because there's not many of them in the world. So I think people just need to learn to treat it with common respect. That's all.
It's kind of like a moving museum piece, if you will. And you know, you wouldn't go knock King Tut's coffin over.
Exactly. It just
I would hope you wouldn't, but you know.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And I think, you know, if Optimus could transform, he'd probably step up and probably squash you like a bug for stretching his paint. So
yeah, no, Optimus Prime isn't like that, man. Well, Mr. Chat Mills, I certainly appreciate your time today, man. I know a lot of people that are watching, they appreciate you spending the time to talk with me today. I'm really excited for the last night. I'm really hoping one day, just one day in my life, I'll be able to see that truck in person. That will be a life-changing experience. But I just want to thank you for coming on today and spending some time to talk with me. I really do appreciate that. The fans love it. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today. If you want anything else you got to say.
Well, again, I appreciate the interest. You know, I'd appreciate it if, you know, the fans would you know, swing by my Facebook and Instagram. You know, give me a like and a follow. That'd be awesome. I got a YouTube channel as well, but there's hardly any content because you know, it's just there's a lot of stuff that I've got to edit, and I'm thinking about maybe doing some informational type videos. You know, something like this. I'm into the trucks. I'm about the trucks, and if, you know, maybe if people comment or something, you know, if they'd be interested in seeing that, or swing by my deals and give me some comments, messages, whatever, I'd appreciate it. But
absolutely, guys, head over to his social media. opwheelman is his Instagram account. He has a Facebook page, and he also has a YouTube channel, as to say. So go show him some love. Just flood his social media, guys.
Please, appreciate it. That'd
be great. That'd be great. Well, thank you, Mr. Chat Mills. Appreciate your time today. And thank you, all fans, those for watching. My name is Alfonso, and I will see you in my next video. And peace out.
Right.